So there are like functions or traditional ways of doing things that maybe you find cumbersome or that you've already changed on your own sets, like things that you maybe do differently.
Yeah.
That, yeah, is traditionally done.
Yeah. Olivia Wilde had said that like she'd gotten some advice from a prominent director who said, you need to have, in order to stay in control of your crew, you need to have 3 public arguments a day. And she's just like, nope. And I think like that's honestly the culture we're coming from. There was also the thing about that Anne Hathaway said that Chris Nolan doesn't let people sit down on his sets. And then he came out and said, no, there's plenty of chairs and all that. But like when I heard that, I knew that was, he might not say no one is allowed to sit, but there is a culture of if you sit down, you're lazy. You shouldn't be. You should always be on your feet and you should always be moving. And I get it to an extent. It's like, it's a lot of money that's being put into these projects, but it's also like, we're human beings. We need to sit down. These are like at least 12-hour day shoots. And like, just like I said before, like bringing in some grace to the situation. And Olivia Wilde also talked about like letting actors and crew talk with each other. I think because I am like very small time, low budget situations, that there is a lot more freedom. We don't have to like deal with like SAG rules or union rules. I think when you're dealing with that stuff, there are like legitimate rules, like you're not supposed to like touch, like if you're on camera, you can't touch art stuff and all these things, these rules that make sense, I think, to an extent. But I do feel like I'm excited to see other people kind of change the game by changing the culture, how the set feels. And I think when we do that, I think things are going to change, and we're going to hopefully hear from different kinds of people, different stories. And I'm just excited that that's kind of in the air right now.
That's cool that, you know, being a producer now, you're feeling like it's changing. Like you're in it, you're doing it right now, and you're feeling like it's in the industry, at least here in Utah. Is that, or you feel like just in general?
I think generally, I mean, like all those ladies are working in LA, so it's exciting that that's happening. But it did feel really good to hear what they were doing. And I was texting my sister Bryn. I was like, Bryn, we were doing this on Dante. Like, so just like to have the validation that like our instincts are good. We're kind of coming up against a culture that is kind of difficult and really intense. But like to get some honestly like female energy and into this, I think is just gonna be good for I think it's good for everyone too. To have a balance of just good energy. I think it's gonna be good for everyone.
I agree. I think I might be a little biased, but yeah.
I just think it's exciting. I mean, like, obviously I'm not making anything in LA, but like, it's exciting to be a part of it in a small way. I think also the thing for me is like, I want to be making good things, but especially I want to be making good things with good people around me. Like if it's not a good experience on set, then like it's hard for me to feel good about what we're doing, what the end result is going to be. I think for me, it's just really important.
Yeah, I think that's it's very the origins. I'm still pretty new to film sets, but I'm learning that the origins of a lot of the structure and how it's baked into the way things are done on film sets is very there's a lot of like military structure and you know there's a lot there that's just baked into the way things are done, that maybe we're getting to a point where we're starting to adjust a little bit to how things are done, and makes a difference in wanting to be there.
Right. Yeah. Like
creating
a place that people want to be. I think and yeah, so I feel like I have a little bit of freedom because it's just small stuff that I'm working on, and it's Utah. It's not like we don't have to obey certain rules, and I think I could probably be braver in a lot of aspects too. There's just certain things that like, especially people that have been around for a long time, that they have certain expectations. But hopefully, I don't know, I hope we can get to a place where it's like, no, we're still going to take care of you. We're going to make sure that you're taken care of, but we're going to try it this other way. And but yeah, to your thing about like the sort of hierarchy of a film set, I remember feeling like There is something weird about it. I remember when we were doing my capstone, and there was a point where it's like, okay, if you're down here, you can't talk directly to Babetta because she needs to focus on these things. And so that's the thing too. It's like you're only supposed to talk to the first AD. And there is something about it that makes a lot of sense just for like being able to focus and do the job. And if everyone can talk to everyone, it can even just get loud and that can be hard. But I think it also doesn't have to be that way. If everyone's like professional and there to do the job, then you should be able to talk with people and it shouldn't, you know, I don't know. There's just
These
something a little
walls
bit
up.
that can feel a little icky about it. Um, and I, uh, shortly after graduating, I did a little like a week long camp where I was like one of the mentors for this camp for kids in LA. And it was really fun. I had a really great week. And then at the end of the week, the parents came to watch what the kids had done. And it was so fascinating. I don't think any of us were expecting it, but all of the counselors were like, what is this feeling in this room? It got like so serious, and you could just kind of feel like people were all like looking at each other like who are you and what have you done? Sort of like are you important sort of thing. And
Hmm.
I was just like, oh, these people have bought into the idea that like the hierarchy on a film set is also connected to your importance as like a human being. And I was just
Hmm.
like, I don't want to be any part of that. And
Hmm.
I think that's been one of the reasons, and that was like that was a singular experience. That's been one of the reasons where I'm like, I don't even know if I want to try LA because I hate the idea of that. But but that's why it's cool to like hear that those lady directors are like kind of shaking things up. And um but yeah, I don't like the idea of like if you're a PA then you're less than
Yeah.
a producer or
That's interesting you say that out loud because I've definitely like I think many people who work in film have felt that
right,
or sensed that, but I
right.
don't know if I've necessarily ever heard that put into words.
Because
You
it's a
know,
gross feeling.
your value as a human is connected to your position
Yeah,
in film.
yeah.